Today I'm speaking with Francoise Pascal, star of stage and screen and someone I've admired for years. She was as warm and open as I hoped she would be, and she said I could ask her absolutely anything, which, believe me, is quite rare. What I really admire about Francoise is she's done so many different things. She's been a cover girl, she's worked in so many different productions, comedies, dramas, films, big television shows, worked here in the UK and in the USA, and now she's starring in and co-producing a theatre play with possibly the funniest name I've heard. I also think it's really interesting that Francoise has worked with so many big celebrities through the years, and she's willing to speak about her experiences. I hope you enjoy this chat. She really did give me some insight into a lot of the working practices of now and of the past, and what she loves about the industry. Francoise, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. You are somebody that I have always enjoyed watching whenever there's something that's on TV or even on YouTube and I see your name. I always enjoy watching it because I think you've had a really interesting career.
Thank you. Thank you very much. My pleasure being here with you.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I have had a very interesting career, I must say. I never thought that it would happen. You know, my childhood dream would come true in my lifetime. Never thought of that. But
Isn't
it did
that
come
lovely?
true. Yeah, absolutely. It did come true, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Oh, see, and I think you can tell you've got a really nice aura about you. And I think, again, when I see you interviews or I'm listening to interviews, you just always have a really nice way about you. You always just seem very happy to answer any questions. You must get the same questions over and over again, but you're always happy to answer. And I do think that's more unusual than you might think it is.
Well, I think also to answer a question, you must be honest. You always have to be honest with people. You can't lie about anything. You always have to be honest, and you always have to answer them straight. You know, just if you're asked a questions, well, answer the question to the best of your ability. That's all I can say. You know, to the best of my ability, I will answer the questions.
Well, let's start off with an interesting one, which is your new play that you're featuring in. So you're acting in, but you're also co-producing. And the reason I say it's an interesting question is because it's got the best title. I've written it down so that I don't get it wrong. My wife fell in love with a life-sized cardboard cutout of Ronan Keating. So that straight away, that's it. What a name for a play. Is it partly the name that caught your attention and made you think, I have to have a little read of this?
Well, when I actually was sent the play and I was told, you know, are you interested? I looked at the title of the play and I went, what? Am I interested? Of course I'm interested. It's a very, very unusual title and absolutely incredible. And P.T. Rose, who wrote the play, unbelievable writing. You know, his writing is so, I don't know, I can't explain his writing. It is you just want to go out there and tell the audience what is written is absolutely unbelievable. And it's a play about dysfunctional family, a dysfunctional family. And I don't know if you know about dysfunctional families. I mean, I know a little bit about dysfunctional families, but it's actually the fallacy. That play is the fallacy of shallow celebrity culture and the danger of delusion, and that is what that play is all about. It's about it centers on 4 females. It's the great grandmother, the grandmother, the granddaughter, and the daughter. It's 4 females there of 4 generations, and it explores humorously. It explores all in depth the change of cultural attitudes and people's ideas and idealism and through all the generations, and it's incredible. And then you have a husband who's like a clown and he dresses like a clown, and you know, and then you have Elvis that comes into the picture also. And you laugh and you cry about this dysfunctional, stupid family who has no idea how to be normal. There's no normality about them, and they struggle to actually to keep a family unit together. And sometimes it's ultra modern. Sometimes well, we call it a snowflake society.
Excellent.
And it's a very honest play about how the society can actually jump into something so stupid without thinking.
Yeah.
And hurt others at the same time.
That, because again, yeah, 'cause what you're saying, it does sound incredibly interesting, because I also saw you interviewed with Nana Acquia, and you were able to get across again that it was very interestingly not taking a shot, but basically no area of modern life was safe from a ribbing or having a spotlight put on it. And I think that's really clever, because we're in danger of being too frightened now of joking and laughing at ourselves. And there's so many things now. I mean, what we used to love watching, now people say, oh, you can't watch that. That's offensive now. You can't say that. So is this very much a play where everyone equally is gently put under the spotlight and maybe...
That's correct. And people today, and people today are afraid to be offended. Yes. You know, and whatever you say to them, they're afraid to be offended. And you say, excuse me, you know, this is life. This is life. Get out, you know, I mean, just pick up everything and see exactly what life is all about around you. Stop telling me you're offended because I've told you that you're white or black or whatever. Yeah. You know, excuse me, no, this is not life. Yeah. And if you are, and the youngsters today always feel that they have to be offended about something that an older person has said. Well, you know, sometimes I like to slap them, to be very truthful. Because I like to say, this is life, you know, get on with it. Yeah. And just go for it. Go for it and stop being offended. There's nothing to be offended about. Yeah. If I say to you, I am going to actually go and make love to this guy, and I am, you know, I'm 74 years old and he's only 50 years old, and you say, oh, I'm offended that you're saying that. Well, I said, you know what? You get on with it. I will go and do it because I want to do it. You know, that's all there is to it. Exactly. And that's your problem if you want to be offended.
And don't you think it's a cliche, but it's true? They say that offence is taken, not given. So that's maybe right. If you're insulting someone, that's a different thing. You can have an argument if you feel someone's insulted you. But offence, I think you need to toughen up and get a thicker skin. And sometimes, dare I say it, know when to mind your own business if you're taking offence on behalf of someone.
There you go. There you go. You got it right. And you said it right. You know, and one has to tell those youngsters there is nothing to be offended about in life.
This must be what made you... Is this why you're co-producing too? Because do you want to get people to have a conversation? Do you want to get people to open their eyes and see that maybe they're, again, taking offence when they actually should just appreciate that people have different opinions, people have different outlooks? Is this why you wanted to co-produce? It's with Karen, isn't it?
It is with Karen. I actually co-produced with Karen because she asked me if I could.
Right.
I would like that. And I said, yes, I would love it. And it's nice to co-produce it because we actually work together. And when you produce something and you co-produce something, you have to work together because the state of the creativity of the cast is in your hands, and it's you know, and it's really important to have them absolutely you know, together. I mean, everybody has got to be together all the time. We have a fantastic cast. I mean, unbelievable cast. The girl who plays the lead, Sally, her name is actually Francesca. I'm Francoise and she's Francesca. She's absolutely superb. absolutely superb, and so many of them are lovely. The girl who plays Philippa, and her name is Lily. And she is another one, a young talent that is going to go so far. And I love watching talents. I really do. And
Yeah.
this play has got all the talents that they have, that is there. It's there. It's there. It's not going anywhere. And all I can wish for them is that I wish that they actually all become successful, because they are absolutely superb.
Well, they're under good guidance then, because surely they must be thrilled in the same way that in your CV you're able to say who you worked with. They'll now be able
Yes.
to say that they worked with you. So surely they must be able to maybe take note from how you approach things. Dare I say it, in today's world, because I love the fact that you're saying, let's go for this with this play. Let's actually make people think. You must be giving them a little bit of bravery, whereas previously they might have been a little bit scared about taking on such a feisty role.
Oh, I don't know. I think they're quite they're ready to take those
Are you
feisty
ready
roles,
for it?
because they're good. Because
Yeah.
if you're not that very good, you won't have that confidence to actually do a play like this. But they're good. I mean, to be very truthful with you, I'm the one who has no confidence.
Oh no. I don't believe that.
I'm the one who just, said, "Oh my God, I'm got to do this. Oh my God." So,
Um,
it's very difficult. I mean, for me, it is. For them, I think they're wonderful because they're young, and they have a great brain, and they can actually retain words very quickly, and I envy them. And to
yeah.
me, and I'm an old 74-year-old, and thinking I can't retain it. But I must retain it, and I've got to do it, and I've got to retain it. So therefore, there's no question about it. And
Well,
I
I
am
want
looking for.
I want to know
Sorry?
your secret. I want to know your secret because you look fabulous. But I must admit, though, it must be hard. I've always said this. I come from the makeup side of things, so all I have to remember is to bring my kit. But to actually remember see, especially when it's theatre, I always think it's such a gift to be able to retain all that information. So for yourself, is it muscle memory? Is it something that almost like going back to the gym if you've not done a
Yeah.
play for a while? Is it like building it back up again and doing it that way?
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done a play for 40 years, for even
Right,
over 40 years.
right.
And to actually start doing a play and remembering lines, it's a little difficult. It's a little,
Yeah,
well, not difficult, it's a challenge.
yeah.
It's an incredible challenge, which I welcome enormously. But very, very scary too, very scary, because it's one of those things that the writer writes for his actors, and he does tend to be a little political about things, and of course what happens is that whenever you get some little political things and you go, oh dear, I can't pronounce this. What am I going to do? But no, we're fine. We're fine. And I'm doing things and I'm pronouncing things well, I think, I hope.
Yeah.
And the rehearsal are going so well. It's fantastic. We have a really good director. Her name is Yvonne Pattison, and she's really very, very good. And I like being directed by a woman. It's so lovely to be directed by a woman. It really is, because
And
I think a man is not.
is that quite unusual for you? Have you been directed by women before, or is that quite a new thing for you?
It's very unusual for me because I've never been directed by a woman before.
Yeah.
I've always been directed by men. Men always, they were there. Directors like Roy Bolting and Alvin Rakoff, who's a superb director, and so many of them Christopher Morahan. I've worked with some good ones, some great ones, and some good ones, and I'm very, very lucky to have them. But I've never worked with a woman director before, and I like being with a woman director because I can actually say, go to her and say, excuse me, why don't you give me some notes? Why are you giving everybody notes except me? And she said, well, because I don't have notes for you, because you're doing it well. I go, oh, okay.
See? There you go. So you've answered this confidence thing. You've got it sussed. That's it. You're absolutely sorted.
I have. I'm only being sort of like little insecure here.
But you know,
and to answer your questions about my skin, it's my mom.
Oh,
my mom
really?
gave me really, it's inherited by her, from her. And I am really lucky again, I'm a lucky girl. I really am. And I'm so, sorry?
I love that. I love that you're just so appreciative. It's so nice, because I think we all tend to, well, in today's world, everyone wants to change things. They want to stick a filler in their lips, change their skin, bring up their eyes. I just love the fact that you're just confident in that, and you're happy with your
I grow old gracefully.
Yeah.
I love growing old gracefully. At 74, there's no other way I could grow old, because it's there. It's in my genes, first of all.
Yeah.
And whatever genes I have, it will stay with me until the day I die. And there is nothing I can do. And I am not going to put a knife to my face, or a knife to whatever it is. I'm not going to do that. And I'm not going to have a syringe going through my face or whatever. Not going to do that. Because first of all, I not only inherited my skin from my mother, but I also inherited her looks. So I'm very happy, thank you very much, And I cannot bear to see these people having this puffed up whatever. Oh, God. No, I feel so bad for them. I feel so sorry for them. I really do.
Because I think ultimately, again, it's your own choice, and I get that. But when you think back, when you got started, and people always mean well when they might give you some advice or they might suggest things, do you think even though you looked like perfection, if they had all the injectables then, and they had all these they call them minor procedures, do you think you could have seen yourself being sort of pushed into it, and you might have ended up getting these things done even though you did not need them?
Oh, when I was in Hollywood, I was pushed, to say, you need to do this, you need to do that to your face or whatever. I refused. I refused point blank. I did not want to have anything done. And I remember having photographs taken with this unbelievable photographer called Hare, who photographed all the big stars in Hollywood. And he said to me, don't you ever, ever do anything to your face or to your skin, because you have the perfect skin and perfect face. I went, thank you. Yeah. And there you go. I didn't, and I refuse to have anything done to my face. No, I will not. I will not do it. In any case, I am very scared of it too.
Yeah. Sometimes you see people and you think that looks very nice, that's very well done. But then quite often, if it's a celebrity, I don't think they can avoid taking it a bit too far, and they go from looking really fresh to starting to look a bit unlike themselves. And I think there does come a point where maybe it's because you keep getting it done again and again that subtly you start to change how you look, and then you can't avoid starting to look a little bit off, and something just doesn't look quite right. I find it fascinating, and I think it's naivety that when you watch some of the documentaries on the Hollywood icons of like the 40s, even the 30s, the 40s and 50s, and they were getting cosmetic procedures, and it must have been the very early days of it. And I had no idea. I always presumed that it came later. Don't they say that Marilyn Monroe had her chin done, more defined, and there's definitely, I want to say it was Rita Hayworth or someone similar, they had their hairline redone, and you think, wow, I just presumed that they all just had their Hollywood makeover. I didn't think for one moment that it was cosmetic procedures, but I think it's been going on a lot longer. It's fascinating.
A long time.
Yeah,
a long time. I remember doing The Young and the Restless, and I remember this actress who was a lovely, lovely actress, and really a superb actress. And I'm not going to say who she is because she's dead anyway. But I remember seeing her in the makeup room. I arrived very, very early, and I saw her in the makeup room, and she had a chin and everything just pulled back to such an extent that it was tucked together.
Wow.
From one to the other, so that her face would look absolutely perfect.
Just perfect.
And you go, that must be bloody painful. I stood there, I didn't, I mean, the makeup girl shut the door on me. But before she shut the door on me, I stood there feeling really painful. Oh God, I feel that pain.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to do that. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
It started a long time ago. And the lady that actually I worked with as I was playing her secretary, she had electrode put on her face.
Yeah.
And she did say to me, come and have some electrode done. So I went and had some electrode done, and I thought, no, thank you.
That'll do. Yeah, because I trained to do some of those, like when you put a small current through the skin, we trained in that. Yeah. And if you turn it up too quickly, wow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah. I couldn't do that. No. But yes, it had started a long time ago, before in the 20s and 30s and things like that. Myrna Loy had things done to her face. In the 20s and the 30s. So no, Greta Garbo had things done to her face also. They all did it.
I think we're all so naive when we're younger that we just think everyone just appeared like that. But you brought up something that I was hoping to ask you about. You've worked in so many different places. You've had major success here, big success in the US. As a makeup artist trained, I'd love to know, do you enjoy the makeup chair? Is it part of getting ready for your performance? Or do you find the makeup chair makes you tired because you get too relaxed? Or does it key you up? How do you find that?
I love the makeup chair because I always look at my face and I go, oh, she's pretty. Yes. Oh. And then the makeup starts and I go, oh, prettier. That's only me. That's in my head. That's only in my head. It's not that I believe it. It's in my head. It says it because I'm about to go in front of a camera. Yeah. So that's why. No,
I'm allowed to say it's true. I'm allowed to say it.
Yeah, and I love the makeup that has always been done on me. I mean, so many makeup ladies I've worked with, and they were all fabulous. And I remember working with Peter Sellers on Soft Beds and Hard Battles, where he played 6 or 7 characters, and there was 2 makeup girls that actually, head of departments that actually all HODs, who knew exactly what to do with him, because he had to play a Japanese, he had to play a French general. I mean, he had to play so many parts, and we, the girls, we had to play just 2 parts. We had to play the whores and play the nun. Oh no, 3. The whores, the nun, and the German soldier. So we were, we always had a 1950s, 1950s hairstyle. And to sit on that makeup chair and to see this happening in front of you was fascinating. The hair came on after the makeup and everything. The hair came on, and it's a wig, it came on. The transformation was absolutely incredible. I loved every moment of it. Every single chair I sat at with a makeup lady, I have loved. I just love them making things. When I was young, I don't think now I like it.
I know sometimes. Oh, and the bright lights can sometimes be a bit like, whoa.
I know. Now, especially for you. you haven't had anything done to your face, and you have little lines coming up, and you go, uh-oh, those lines are showing well on these lights. I don't like them.
And that's when you love your makeup and you're like, just do your thing, just sort me out, get me sorted. Talking about that, with the part that you're playing in the play, are you designing your makeup, or do you have someone in that's actually helping to co-design makeup and costume? How does that work?
No, I actually do my own makeup. I don't, I'm, on stage. I will always do my own makeup. I have the stage makeup, so it's not a big deal. And hair, I have to wear a turban, so I don't have so much. I could take the turban off and just do like ruffle my hair. It doesn't make any difference. But no, I don't really have any makeup things on stage. As I said, I do it myself.
Yeah.
So I'm okay. Yeah.
See, I think that's the most common thing. I think it's only like huge, massive productions where they've got like the makeup team, maybe like even The Lion King too, where they've got to have all the special effects and things like that. But I hear a lot of people say that when they work in theatre, they would rather do their own anyway, because it helps you get ready and it helps you prepare. So would you agree with that? Does it help you get into character?
Totally agree with it. Absolutely. It's one of those things that, once you are doing your makeup, you're also doing your lines at the same time. Yeah. And you're getting yourself into character at the same time. So that's the way I used to do. And I'm sure I'll be doing it still. But yeah, you get yourself into character. Definitely.
And would you say with the play, overall, it's quite thought-provoking by the sound of it. Are there a lot of funny moments too? Is there comedy there?
Oh, yes, there is a lot of comedy, and it's really fantastic. There's a lot of places where you will be laughing all the time. I hope you come and see the play, because there will be. Do come, please. We're on from the 5th until 9th, and we'll get you a seat. Don't you worry, and we'll actually, and you will laugh your head off. You really will, because it is a comedy as much as a drama. Yeah, it has everything in it.
And that's where I think, again, with your career, there aren't that many people that can say that they've worked with these icons, these names, like you say, Peter Sellers. Again, I love, I won't be the only one, but with Mind Your Language, I think you were brilliant in that. I think it's such a funny programme. I get really irritated when people say that we shouldn't be watching things like that now. That really irritates me, because funny is funny. And the other thing do you know what gets on my nerves? If I took offence to every Scottish joke, I wouldn't have any time to do anything. But most Scottish jokes are actually funny, and that's why we laugh at them. But I also think it's fascinating who you worked with on that, because people like Barry Evans, he is somebody, you might be able to give me a bit of insight. He obviously was an actor that did a lot of comedy. You did a lot of comedy, but I think he always brought quite a nice sort of an innocence to everything he did. And I think sometimes people's energy, your energy always comes through for me. And I think his energy always came through as quite a gentle soul, but I don't know if that's just good acting.
No, he was a gentle soul, but his comedy was very innocent.
Yeah.
He had an innocence in him that not very many actors have when they do comedy. And Barry was actually a very honest actor. And he's also a very giving actor. He was a giving actor, but he was also a very insecure actor. Right. Like many of us, we were also insecure as he was, because he was more insecure, because he was very he didn't. I don't know if you know anything about his background,
Yes,
Barry
it's so
was
sad.
actually brought up by no one except for
Yeah,
Bernardo's. He was a Bernardo's child, and that insecurity from that childhood is actually always giving him, given him that, go for it, go, do it, and you'll be okay. And if you know about young men in those days, when they're very pretty, things can happen to them, and
mm,
that can even be more insecure. You'll give you more insecurity. But
yeah,
nevertheless, Barry actually went into his acting with honesty and with great aplomb, because he was a fabulous actor, a giving actor,
yeah,
a, and a really kind person, and a kind actor. And
yeah,
that's what we look for when we actually are working with somebody, is
yeah,
that kindness, that giving as an actor. Because when you give as an actor to others, they respond to you. They respond, as they're in their part, in their role, they respond to it. So yeah, Barry was a superb actor. I love him. I absolutely do,
yeah.
and miss him terribly. I really do miss him.
And that's the thing. Again, there's certain actors, aren't there, that they get you there, and you just feel that. Like I say, there's like an energy that comes off them, and you think there's just something about you that, and
Yeah,
that must be why you must get so many people talking to you about that particular program too, because I think there was a lovely energy that came from that, and that was the other thing that I wanted to say. It was repeated here quite frequently until recently, and I can't understand why people say we can't repeat it anymore when
mm,
I see fans from all over the world. If they should be offended, it should be them, because that's the people that technically are learning
that's
English, but they love it.
they absolutely adore it. We
Uh-huh.
have nearly 1 million fans now,
Yeah.
around the world, to actually love the program. And that's what annoys me, is that most of the people think that they have to be offended, by this program. But there's nothing to be offended about. Vince did not write this program for people to be offended. He didn't write this program as a racist or whatever, because he was not a racist at all. The reason he wrote this program, the reason why he wrote my part, what he told me, was that he went to a school, a language school, and he saw this girl, who was actually struggling in English. She was French. She was struggling in English, and he saw the Indian guy and the Pakistani and Chinese and all that in the same class, struggling to learn English. And he said the worst thing that you could hear is those people pronouncing the words really badly. And at the same time, he always said that I wrote this series for people to learn English, for the foreigners to learn English. And the funniest, and another great thing happened when Manala, is that her name, Manala, from Afghanistan?
Yes, I have.
When she arrived in England, she said, "Do you know Mind Your Language?" Because she's been watching Mind Your Language all this time, learning English from Mind Your Language. So it shows you that if somebody like her is not offended by that program, well, why should you be offended? What's the point of you, because you're English or Scottish or you're Irish or whatever, you're offended of an English of a language school that is trying to teach foreigners to speak English? I mean, are you for real?
No,
And anyway,
no. I
don't let me
think,
get on that.
but I thought that was a nice connection to the play too, because I think a lot of things are actually funny, and sometimes funny is about laughing at the things that we do. Sometimes laughing at a cliche is
Yeah,
just, it's funny because there's an element of truth there. A lot of Scottish people do like a drink. A lot of Scottish people are quite tight-fisted. It's funny because
yeah,
sometimes it's true.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, in the play itself. It's like Sally takes a Bible and she takes it out of the drawer. She takes the Bible and her husband says, "Where did you get this Bible?" She said, "Well, W.H. Smith." He said, "No, I'm not talking of W.H. Smith. I'm talking, which Bible did you get?" And she couldn't answer him. And that's funny. It's a funny thing. And you go, oh my God, the stupidity of the woman. But that's the kind of thing that is relates to a lot of of real life. As much as what Mind Your Language related to real life. And a lot of the things that we, that you see on television relates to real life, and some people don't understand it. They don't see it that way.
No, but I do think, again, the things that you've done, and again, I'm watching The Brothers at the moment, and I think we're on series, it's on Talking Pictures, and I think we're on series 3 or 4 at the moment, so your series is still to come. But I'm looking forward to that, because is that a much more serious part that you played in that?
Much more serious, and she's much more of a...
I'm looking forward to that.
She's actually what you call these women, she's a man-eater. And she's also someone that will, is very much into her money, and she's not going to give way to that to David. David is much too stupid for her. That's who she is.
And I'll tell you something.
I'm not going to tell you more than that.
You won't spoil it. What I love, though, good quality drama, good quality comedy. It doesn't matter when it was made. If it's good, you will watch it. And that's the thing. This is from, I think we're on 1974 now, and it doesn't matter. It is still really, it's so enjoyable. You're just in it. And I get really irritated when people say that they only watch Netflix or they only watch, Disney Plus. I think there's so much good television and good films from still being made, obviously still being made. But if you discover something, and it's not so much that you missed it, it's just that you're on a path of discovery. And for instance, The Iron Rose, that is a fantastic film. And it's not the kind of film that I would normally watch. So to be captured by it and to watch it and to be really absorbed into it, again, that's credit to yourself and everyone that created that. You've got people watching things that you normally it wouldn't normally be something that you would look at the synopsis and think, oh, I'll watch that. But you see who's in it and you think, I'll give that a go. That was a good film.
Oh, what made you watch it? Because it's not the kind of film that people would watch, because it's very psychological kind of.
The truth is, because you were in it, and because I'd watched you in other things, and because I saw that you were in it and you were one of the leads, and I thought, right, this is worth a watch. If I get too frightened, I can always pause it. But it wasn't like that. It wasn't like, I thought it might be gory. It's not gory, but it really did hook you in. Yeah, And the same with Burke and Hare. I watched it primarily because of you, and I like Derren Nesbitt. I think he's really good at what he does. And also Ute, I never know if that's how you pronounce her name. Is that correct? Ute Stansgaard, I was thinking.
Ute Stansgaard.
Yeah, because I knew, so it was the three of you, on Youth of Joyce too. So there were all these people in Burke. All these people in Burke and Hare, and I thought, I'm going to have to watch this because, again, it's a topic that I thought, oh, am I going to be a little bit put off by this? Not at all. It was so enjoyable, so well made. They're funny bits. Again, who would have thought Burke and Hare? I'd be laughing at bits of Burke and Hare.
Uta actually was very funny because she put on that Scottish accent, and the producer said, "What are you doing, putting on this Scottish accent?" She said, "Well, we're in Scotland, aren't we?" So she put on the Scottish accent, which was so incredibly stupid because we couldn't understand the words she was saying. And then we went to Glasgow ago to open the film, and Yuto and I was on stage. They were saying, and she came on with this Scottish accent, and people went, "No, no, you don't want to hear that."
Oh, see, but they take it in good humour. They take it in good humour,
Yes.
but again, there's a lot
People
of
are
exactly. And do you have good memories of that film? Because I read that it was a bit of a slow burner when it came out, but me just watching it independently because I wanted to watch it, it was just a really enjoyable film. I really thought it was well made.
Yes, it was a slow burner when it came out, because I think it was the fact that it wasn't well directed. And let's put it this way. I mean, I'm
Right.
being very honest. It wasn't
Yeah.
well directed at all. He was very old. He was 81 years old when he actually directed that film.
Right.
And maybe less, I don't know, 80 years old or whatever. But he wasn't really together there. So Derren had to take over the direction of the film. And Derren is so funny. And Derren actually was quite good at it. But at the same time, I had to say, well, what am I supposed to do now, Derren? And Derren said, well, I don't know. He was going as the director. Okay, no idea. So it was a bit chaotic. The film was a bit chaotic in direction-wise. But, we enjoyed ourselves.
Yeah.
That was the main thing. And we actually did have a good time.
Oh, see, that's good. And it's an enjoyable watch. And years ago, I remember seeing promotional stills. Do you do the promotional photo shoot before you do the film? Is that one of the first things that you do? Because I love those images. This is from my memory, so I might be completely wrong, but I think you're wearing hot pants or something like that. And it's just, it's like a really excellent, just a really fun photo shoot.
The fun photo shoot I had for Burke and Hare was with Derren and the girl, the wife of the producer. He took me in his arms, and I had a bottle of champagne in my hand. What am I going to do with that? Hit you on the head?
Oh, that's funny.
He had and then he took the bottle of champagne out of my hand, and Dee was near me and was actually, so he was trying to actually pour the champagne to her. And he was like, said, Derren, could you put me down, please? Because I think he said, well, you're like a feather. I said, well, no, I'm not like a feather. I just put me down, because it really is uncomfortable being in your arms.
Oh, see, all those memories.
We had little fun. We had little fun in every little bit we did. Yeah.
See, I like that attitude. And the one thing, again, you can tell me because you're obviously doing the acting, but whenever I watch Derren acting, he always makes it look as if it's super, like, naturalistic. He always makes it look as if he's just came up with those words there and then. He's got a way about him that I just think it always looks as if it's off the cuff, and obviously it's not. Is that just his style of acting then, that he just makes everything look as if he's just thought of it there and then?
No, it's his style of acting. It's the way he is. It's the way he does.
He's one of those actors that just makes it look as if he's just thought. Like
I mean, if you watch him in is it Where Eagle Dares? Is it that?
Yes.
Yeah. If you watch him in Where Eagle Dares, you'll see that's the way he does. That's the way he acts. He's a very methodical actor. He's a methodical actor.
And is that difficult when you're acting across from someone, like all the different styles? Because we're just watching it, we're just enjoying it. But can it be quite, like, you need to get into the rhythm of how someone else acts to kind of work out that's their style, that's how they do it? Does that take quite a while to...
I don't know. I didn't actually sort of like follow his methodical acting on Burke and Hare, because on Burke and Hare, I think it was just ordinary kind of acting, because it was such fun to do. I mean, romping on the bed and things like that. It was just fun to do. I think I did the killing scene with Glenn Edwards, who was a lovely, lovely actor. I adored him. And Derren did the killing scene with Yuta, but I was with Glenn. And Glyn is a methodical actor also.
Mm-hmm.
So they both were, you know, I mean, it was great fun when we were doing these, and it shows that it was fun.
Yeah,
You know,
I do. I think that's why I enjoy watching what you do, because you really do get a mixture of everything. I mean, you've even got like working with Dick Emery. I know Barry worked with him separately though, didn't he? He did that. It was like a detective series. You do the that's I enjoyed that. There's so many people. You worked with Terry and Duke, Peter Sellers, obviously. I mean, the list goes on and on. You, like I say, you worked with Eutha Joyce again. That was on Burke and Hare. There's just so many people that you worked with in so many different styles that when you think about it, I don't think there's that many people that across the board have worked in so many different ways that you have, with so many different people, like you say, so many different names. And you're the link that keeps everything moving along. Do you sometimes look back and think, wow, that's insane. My CV is insane.
Yep, I do.
Right.
I actually look back and look at my CV and I go, did I do all that?
Yeah.
Did I really do all that? Wow.
And like you say, you did Hollywood, you did the Hollywood soap. I think you would have been great in Dallas or Dynasty or something like that too. But I guess, again, they would have came along sort of mid-80s and everything would be so different by then.
Yeah, no, it was the 80s. I was in Los Angeles in the 80s, and I went for Dallas. I was actually not Dallas, Dysentery. I called it Dynasty.
I like that.
We all called it Dysentery at the time. I auditioned for Dysentery for Dallas.
We'll call it that.
I auditioned for it, and I didn't get it because I was not glamorous enough for them, because the glamour. Well, no, when you look at Joan Collins, the glamour is Joan Collins. So, you know, to get to the point of being like Joan Collins, you have, you know, there's a lot to do. There's a lot of makeup that you have to put on. But I wasn't glamorous enough for them. So that's okay, you know, because my friend Kate O'Mara did it, and she was absolutely lovely, and she didn't like doing it. She didn't like Hollywood at all. She hated Hollywood. She thought it was too sort of like plastic for her. Yeah. And
you would have been good in that, but then I think you would have been good. But then again, Kate O'Mara, that's another person I think that she radiates something. You've all got that something that it just makes us want to watch. I suppose they call it the X Factor, but now when you think about the X Factor, you think about the show. But it's that something, isn't it? It's that thing that just makes us want to watch. But just to finish off, I was listening to your radio show last night, and I have to say that if anyone hasn't listened to it, it's really enjoyable because you play a really good mix of music. It's very pleasant to listen to because it's not anything that's going to be like too much of any one area. It's a nice mix of current, classic, bit of Frank Sinatra, bit of TLC, bit of Kenny Loggins. It was a bit of everything. Do you get a lot of joy from your radio show?
Oh, I love my music. I just absolutely adore my music. And I listen to a lot of the music. And I'm like, tomorrow I have to start another radio show again, you know, I mean, another one for Sunday. And I listen to a lot of the songs and choose them from YouTube and all that. And it's a joy. It really is a joy. And when I hear it on a Sunday, I hear it being played on the radio itself. I feel very proud of it. I really am very proud of it. I love it.
It was really enjoyable and a nice mix. And you were very witty too. I think you were reading everyone's minds because, in particular, you said you were in your pajamas, and I thought, I think we're all in our we're all in our pajamas at the moment. I think you saw exactly what was happening. You caught us all out.
What am I in my pajamas at 4:00 in the afternoon?
But you're allowed. It's glamorous pajamas. We need to paint that image. It's the super glam, silky, unlike
I'm the
me.
super glam grandmother, am I? The super glam grandmother.
Yes, unlike my flannel.
Don't you worry about that. You're going to see me at home in pajamas, really. Very underglam.
That's it. We're all keeping it real. But Francoise, it's been such a pleasure speaking to you. I love your insight because I'm a fan of the industry and I'm a fan of just knowing how things are put together, knowing how your experience was, but also hearing about how the play is coming together too. So I really wish you well with it and I'd love to come and see it. I hope that Ronan Keating comes to see it. I do, because he gets a name check. I hope he does.
If you actually, sort of hear of anybody who knows him, just
Yes.
to let them know that he's got to come and see it. He really has.
Great.
That would be
Wouldn't
fantastic. Yeah, that would be just. It would be the cherry on the pie or cherry on the cake or whatever you call it.
Exactly. That'd be a lovely thing. And right, so we need to try and make that happen. We'll have to make sure that he gets to know about it. But
yes.
So could you remind us of where and when?
Yes, we are. Well, as you said before, the name of the play is "My Wife Fell in Love with a Life-Size Cardboard Cutout of Ronan Keating." It is at the Drayton Arms Theatre on 158 Old Brompton Road, and it's on from the 5th of November to the 9th of November, and it starts at 7:30. And tickets, you can get tickets on the website, which is, oh my gosh.
Don't worry about it. I'll put a link in. I will know exactly where to put that link.
I'm terrible. I can never remember links. I really can't. I think it's KSMW.net or something like that. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry.
We'll get that sorted. It's because we made you remember the name of the play that we've made you forget the website.
My wife fell in love with a life-size cardboard cutout of Ronan Keating. Who heard of the play?
That might be a Guinness Book of Records longest title for a play.
Well, that is from P.T. Rose, the greatest writer I know. Believe me. You'd meet him. You will meet him when you come for the play. You will meet him.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to it. It's been a joy, and thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome, and thank you so much, Elaine.